Muse is a band that has a lot of guitar riffs that are doubled by the bass guitar. You can recreate those riffs by playing guitar through an octave pedal, but it will sound even better when you play them through a pedal that actually sounds like a bass guitar. The Electro Harmonix Bass9 is a polyphonic synthesizer for guitar where you can choose between 9 different bass sounds recreated from both acoustic instruments and synthesizers. Before we get into the sounds of the top 10, I'll walk you through my signal path. Bear in mind that this is no attempt to recreate the tones of guitarist Matthew Bellamy and bassist Christopher Wolstenham. First of all, I play with a pick, just like Matthew Bellamy, but Christopher Wolstenham plays bass with his fingers most of the time, so it'll automatically sound different. I'm playing my Ibanez RG470 through the Keeley mini compressor before going into the Digitech Whammy DT, just for alternate tuning. This is because my guitar is in E flat, so I'm shifting either half a note up or down. The Bass9 is after that. This pedal is mainly on sound 1, which is modeled after a Fender Precision bass. For this sound, control knob 1 adds a sub octave, but it's turned down. Control knob 2 is a tone knob that's turned all the way up. This pedal splits the guitar and bass sounds. The dry guitar sound is going into the Electro Harmonix Micro Pog for some riffs, before it reaches the Line 6 EHX Stomp. The wet bass sound of the Bass9 goes through the Zoom Multi-Stomp 70 CDR before it hits the EHX Stomp as well. For more details about the signal path, please read the video description. And now let's get on with the top 10. On number 10 we find the Psycho riff from the album Drones. This riff is in D, so the Whammy DT is shifting my guitar half a step down. For the bass overdrive, I use the Horizon drive in the EHX Stomp, with a 30-70 wet-dry ratio, so its sound is mainly dry. From their latest album comes the title track Will of the People. Instead of the Horizon drive, I used the Ballistic Fuzz, which is modeled after an op-amp Big Muff variant. This time it's 70% wet with just 30% dry sounds. For the guitar sound I also used the Micro Pog. Supremacy is the opening track of the album The Second Law. For this riff, the Horizon drive is back on the bass sound. The Whammy DT is shifting my guitar up 1 semitone. I also switched on the Electro Harmonix Micro Pog to shift only the guitar sound down 1 octave. From their Hullabaloo soundtrack comes Yes Please, but this song was originally a B-side of their Sunburn single. The Micro Pog is off on this track. Now for the oddball in this list, here's Algorithm from the album Simulation Theory. The Bass9 has a synth sound on preset number 4, which sounds pretty similar to the synthesizer sound used on this track. Control knob 1 is all the way up, which adds a second octave, and control knob 2 is all the way up as well for the envelope filter. The tremolo bass sound on the backing track is done with the Source Audio C4 synth. This preset is available for free on my Neuro profile, so please check out the link in the description for that. From their debut album Showbiz comes Sober. We're back on the Precision sound on the Bass9 with the Horizon drive in the EHX Stomp. On number 4 we find Citizen Erased. This is the only riff on this list where there's no bass overdrive, but there is an additional bass sub-octave. To achieve this, I turned control knob 1 halfway up on the Bass9. For the guitar sound, I also used the micro pog. From the album Black Holes and Revelations comes Knights of Cydonia. The Horizon drive is back on for the bass sound and the micro pog is switched off again. On number 2 we find the song Unnatural Selection from the album The Resistance. I use the same settings as the last riff, but the Whammy DT is shifting my guitar down 1 semitone instead of up. I've chosen the iconic bass riff from Hysteria to be on number 1 on this list. This song is filled with bass riffs, but it's doubled on guitar sometimes in the song. Instead of the Horizon drive on the bass sound, the ballistic fuzz is back on. So this was my top 10 of Muse Bass9 riffs. I know there are a lot more songs that could have been on this list, but I thought it was cool to use a riff from each of their studio albums. Which riff should be on this list according to you? Or do you have a question about the Electro Harmonix Bass9 or other gear used in this video? Please leave a comment and I'll get back to you.